Hi, welcome back to A to B's Books. Today we're going to be starting a new reading vlog. I haven't actually decided what book I want to read for this vlog. I just finished the most recent Hunger Games, and I am in the middle, or just at the beginning really, of The Assassin's Blade that I have on audiobook. I have three kind of options right now, and I need to decide between them. So it's to do Assassin's Blade, where I do kind of like a multimedia experience of reading it with my eyeballs and also listening to it on audiobook. And then I have Verity, which I want to read because the movie comes out in about a month from now. I have plans to go see that with friends, so I want to be able to have time to watch that. Then I have Ransom Canyon, which I kind of want to read, and also the fourth, Dream Harbor. So I need to determine what book I'm going to start with. But currently, I am watching my Ottawa Senators get absolutely dominated by the Toronto Maple Leafs. Let's hope. Oh geez, just in me doing this video, they scored another goal. So big yikes. But the game plan is for me to watch the game and read a bit of my book. I'll figure out which one and get back to you. Oops. I ended up picking Ransom Canyon by Jodie Thomas. I also realized I neglected to include my IRL book club book, which is God of the Woods. That should have been included in the selection process, but I didn't. And I think I have 3 weeks to read that. So I do need to prioritize and get my ass in gear. I realized that Verity doesn't come out next month. It actually comes out in a year next month. So that has been removed from the list. I'm in no rush to read that book. And I even was so afraid of not finishing the book in time for the movie that I bought the audiobook. I very rarely buy audiobooks. I usually just borrow them from the library, but that's how desperate I was. Got my wires crossed there, but I'm very excited to start a cowboy romance. I haven't read a romance book in a while, to be honest, just something fun and goofy and light. Hopefully that is the case here, and it's not some super intense, Nicholas Sparks style book. That would be awful. My thought process for choosing this book is I really want to watch the Netflix show. So either I get really into the book and love it and then go promptly watch the show, or the book isn't for me, I DNF and kind of get it out of my mind, and I still check out the TV show because sometimes, I can like one without the other. I'll read a bit tonight and update you in the morning. Really match. Okay, so it's the next day, and I ended up reading up until 18%. And I'll be honest, the first, 5 to 10%, I was like, okay, I just need to make it to 25% and then make a decision on if I'm DNFing. I wasn't enjoying it. It was kind of too cheesy, too, what's the right word? Pure. So I was like, oh, it's not really my thing. But then I started to get to know more people, get to know more about them, and I got into it. So I'm at 18%. And if I'm not liking it, I'll still DNF. But so far, I'm still into it. I'm currently watching Game 2 of the Battle of Ontario. Boo to the Leafs winning so far. And I'm just going to keep reading, and maybe that little one will go for a WLK after this period ends. But that's my evening. Hello, it's a few days later, and I ended up getting, I think I'm 30 or so percent through the book. But right now, I'm about to have dinner. Somebody is begging me for extras, I know. And I've got this new show on called Race for the Crown on Netflix about horse jockeys. So I'm going to eat, and then I have sprints tonight while the hockey game is on. The Sens are down 2-0 in the series. It's not looking good. Another rough loss for the Sens. But Matt's gone, so I'm home alone, which is the first time I've been home alone in this house. and I'm a little freaked out, but also I need to turn off every single freaking animal that we have. So I'll see you in about an hour, and then I'll tell you about my reading progress. Everybody's turned off except for the bedside table because I like to look at them before bed. I realized I never kind of told you guys what Ransom Canyon is about. It is, I only said like it's a cowboy romance really, but it's set in Ransom Canyon in Texas, a small town. And there's 4 main families is what they say like on the back of the book. But there are 5 POVs so far. We have Stanton, who is the main rancher, and like, you know, he's a cowboy, he's rich, he's handsome, he's caring and kind. Then we have, I forgot her first name, but her last name is O'Grady. And that's Minka Kelly's character on the TV show. And she is like a quiet, shy woman. They're both in their kind of, I think, 40s, and they've known each other since high school just because it's a small town. So everyone knows everyone. So those are like 2 40-year-olds. And then it has one guy who's I think probably like 25 or so. And he just did 5 years in prison for robbery. Sorry, I'm like fighting Freya because she's licking her medicine off her feet. And he just kind of comes into town and he wants to restart his life and try to kind of go the straight and narrow because growing up, like he had nothing and like he needed to survive. And so now he's trying to survive in a different way than he was previously because prison really wasn't a good experience for him. Hi, who's this pretty girl? Who's that? She thinks someone's there. And then we have 2 POVs of teenagers that go to the local high school. One is 15 and one is 17. Lauren is the 15-year-old and she is the sheriff's daughter. And then Lucas is 17 and he works on Stanton's ranch. So Stanton and O'Grady have something going on romantically, and then Lucas and Lauren have something going on romantically. I forget the guy who is new to town. It's something weird, like Yanis. It's not Yanis. It starts with a Y. It's an odd first name, or unusual to me. He has also a romance. So like at the end of the day, this is just a romance book. It's fun, it's cheesy, and the town makes no sense. I guess like ranching does have like a ton of money in it. And they do say, like, they make up a reason for why like the school system is amazing because there's some of the programs that the kids have that's kind of like unrealistic for such a small town. I kind of know the characters now. I'm into all of the stories except for Stanton. I think it's Stanton. He's just kind of boring. He's a little possessive and just a little too... He's just boring. That's what it is. He's just boring. He has a lot like in his past that makes him very like into his routine, not wanting change and all that. And I get why. So I think like as he kind of like opens up with his love, he'll hopefully become less boring. I'm done reading for the night and I'm gonna just watch some YouTube. I have finished Ransom Canyon and it was great. I had so much fun reading it. I loved all the characters. It ended kind of quickly. Like when it was one of those things where it's like a slow paced book and then at the end when everything's going down, it's like, oh, I kind of wish you went into detail the same way you did about things that didn't really matter at the beginning. But I still really liked it. Loved how the book went. It has tropes that I really enjoy. Another great thing about this book is that it had something for everyone. I loved the young romance with the high schoolers and the kind of deeper, more established romance with the 240-something. Sorry, Freya's got her toy. And really like Yancey. That's the gentleman who got out of prison and is kind of starting a new path for himself. Loved him. Loved Luca, who's like the teen boy. I really just think he's precious. And Lauren too. She's also a young girl. And then it also has like this cast of characters of these old retired teachers that just all happen to live in the same little community building. They're so sweet and they just bring that like funny, quirky vibe. And the town itself is its own character. And I loved it. It just had this great ambiance. It reminded me of Dream Harbor. And I 100% want to pick up book 2. That will not be my next read. But if I didn't have anything lined up, I think I'd jump right into it. I loved where all the story was going. I kind of complained that I found Stanton annoying or just boring. I found him boring. And like I had kind of predicted, once he kind of fully let himself feel what he needed to feel, he became kind of like a more complete human. And like even like his house was a reflection that he wasn't completely good. So yeah, I loved the book. But now that I've finished the book, I get to watch the show. And I'm most excited to see who these people like are, who's cast for these people, particularly Lucas. I only know Minka Kelly and Josh Duhamel, so everyone else will be a surprise, and like I'm excited to find out, you know, who's gonna be Yanis. Oh my god, it's not Yanis. I even said his name like 3 minutes ago. I suck. The guy with the Y name. I'm excited to see who he is and like all that they've cast. So I'm gonna watch the first episode and then I'll report back on how I feel the casting is, the vibe of the show compared to the book. I probably won't be able to finish all of this show before I finish this vlog, but at least the first episode. Okay, so I watched the first episode of Ransom Canyon and I hate it. I will keep watching it. I think I need to think of them as two separate things because they switched so many things that I don't feel need to be switched. For example, I'm not 100% sure if this is a case of me not having read the whole series and realizing that kind of like one person is also someone's brother, or if they merge two people together for the purposes of the show. So that's one thing where I'm like, I'll give benefit of the doubt that I just don't know enough about the series yet. But then the young high schooler, his last name is Reyes in the book. His last name is Russell in the TV show. Didn't like that. And they changed his whole family background. So in the book, he's the oldest of 6 siblings. And at his home life, he's fairly independent because his parents have way too much going on to kind of focus on him. Whereas in the show, it's him and his older brother, and his older brother has guardianship because their parents have passed away. So again, different, like it's a difference that I don't like. And then I loved the old folks in the book. I thought it was such a cute little community center. They switched it to being Cap being a rancher. And again, I'm like, okay, so now we don't have any of these old folk teachers. That was like part of the cuteness. So there's just like a ton of things missing. And I also feel like they did Lauren kind of like differently than I pictured, because she was like at the party and with all the popular boys dating someone that in the book she like highly opposes. She doesn't drink. She like always puts the drinks down. You never see her drinking. So that's like true to her character. But I just was like, Lauren wouldn't even be at the party. And they've already like, her and Lucas are already like hooking up, whereas before Lucas was much more pining for her and like he had feelings and she also did, but like kind of was waiting, or just I don't know. But yeah, so it was just like disappointing where I'm like, all the things in the book that I liked, you're changing. And even Yancey, finally remembered his name and it makes more sense when he says it. Yancey comes into town coming out of prison with nothing, and he is thinking in his head that he's going to try to make a go of it, but he will kind of do whatever he needs to do to get by, i.e. petty theft. And that's when he comes across the old people, and then he kind of is like, they're treating me so well, like I don't want to steal from them, I want to actually give back to them, they're helping me, they don't deserve, you know, to be robbed. Whereas in the show, he like comes in with like a dark mission, and I'm like, I know he'll change. So I suspect he will have the same character progression that he has in the book. It just will look different in the show. But I don't know. I guess the book is just too cutesy and they need to kind of like darken it up a bit for the show. But yeah, I think my biggest overall upset was that Lucas Reyes is now Lucas Russell. I just really like that character, and the fact that he's like so different bums me out. I will still watch it. I just think I have to think of them as two completely different entities. And the book's always better than the show. Yeah, that's the end of this reading vlog. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you're now considering reading Ransom Canyon or checking out the show. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye. I'm always, okay, it doesn't matter.